Florrie was flying round Fairyland when she noticed something odd down by the river. "I wonder what that is," she said to herself, and flew down to have a better look. As she got closer, she saw that it was a bathtub stuck on branches by the riverside. "Well, I never! Fancy that! How on earth did it get here in Fairyland? We don't use bathtubs." "But I know who does use them, and that is the naughty Spritzen over in the distant mountain in Spritzenland. Well, we shall see about that." Florrie flew back home to tell the elder of what she had seen. The Spritzen were a naughty people who did not care for nature or their land. Instead of being a green land with flowers and trees, it resembled a landfill junkyard, and the Spritzen only washed their clothes and themselves when it was a night before the Spritzenland festive holiday, which was once a year. Florrie told the fairy elder about seeing the bathtub, and he thought for a while before saying, "Well, I never! Fancy that!" Florrie said, "I said that as well. But what are we going to do about it?" The elder thought for a little bit longer, then said, I don't know." "I will sort this out myself," responded Florrie angrily. "I should have done that straight away anyway," and stormed off out of the elder's hall. "Don't do anything hastily. We mustn't upset the Spritzen," the elder shouted, too late for Florrie to hear. Florrie flew to a secret glade in the wood, still angry over the elder not being able to make a decision. "Why can't we stop the Spritzen making a mess of their land? It hurts the land, its trees and flowers, the animals, and spoils the lakes and rivers. And when there is no more space, they do it to other people's land." At that moment, Mother Nature came down, and she could see and hear that Florrie cared for all of nature, and said, "My dear Florrie, you are a very kind fairy that cares for all the work that I have done, providing beautiful places for all the people to live in. You get so upset when someone spoils it. You will be my representative. Your task will be to look after all the kingdom of Wonderland and see that they once again become and remain beautiful." Florrie was so surprised to see Mother Nature, as no one ever sees Mother Nature. "Hello, Mother Nature," said Florrie. "Hello, Florrie," said Mother Nature. After a moment, getting over to see Mother Nature, Florrie said, "How am I going to repair all your good work? My fairy magic is not as powerful as yours. I am going to give you special powers so that you can continue your role of caring for nature. You are to become the Eco-Fairy." Suddenly, Florrie was surrounded by a magic twinkling cloud of green stardust. Mother Nature then said, "I will be watching over you to make sure you come to no harm in returning all the spoilt lands to green and pleasant places for the people to live in. You will need to persuade them that it will be a better place for them to live in. It will take time, so be patient." And in an instant, Mother Nature was gone. Florrie just sat there wondering, have I just fallen asleep? And was it a dream? It was a nice one, but was it real? A voice over Florrie suddenly said, "Hi, Florrie. The elders sent me to find you and tell you not to do anything yet until they thought about it a little longer." It was her friend Lily. "Hi, Lily. How did you find my secret glade?" "It's not that secret, Florrie. We all know where it is." "You use it all the time to cool off," laughed Lily. And then Florrie, "Okay, we are not going to wait while they wash their socks and wait for them to dry when it's raining. Come on, Lily. We're going to sort this out ourselves." "But Florrie, the elder said that you must..." "Oh, never mind. Where are we going?" Florrie said, "I am the Eco-Fairy. Follow me." "What?" said the confused Lily, as they both flew up into the sky towards where Florrie had found the bathtub. Florrie and Lily arrived at where the bathtub was stuck. "How are we going to move that? It's so big and heavy," said Lily. I haven't got that problem out yet, and there are many more to come as well. Still, one problem at a time, okay? Replied Florrie. Suddenly, Florrie heard a voice. If I move my branches away from the bathtub, it'll free the bathtub. Did you hear that, Linny? Said Florrie. Hear what? Replied Linny. Someone said they could move the branches to free the bathtub, said Florrie. No, replied Linny. It was me, said the voice. Who is me? Replied Florrie, with Linny looking at Florrie puzzled. It's me, the tree that's holding the bathtub. Do you want me to move them so you can move the bathtub? Said the tree. I can hear and speak to a tree, said Florrie, also puzzled now. This is so tiresome. Yes, you can. And I would suggest you put the plug back in and fasten a rope around the bathtubs. And with the bathtub floating on the river again, you can use your strength to sail it back to Spritzenland. Lily, I can hear and speak to the tree. He is talking to me, and he has a suggestion of what to do. Mother Nature did give me extra powers, said Florrie, and briefly explained the encounter with Mother Nature. That is weird, said Lily. Are we going to do as I suggested, as my branches are getting tired and fed up with holding this bathtub? Said the tree. Oh, sorry, tree. Yes, we will, said Florrie. Florrie and Linny followed the tree's instructions, and the bathtub came free. To Linny's amazement, Florrie was able to pull the bathtub with Linny inside all the way back to Spritzenland, although both Florrie and Linny had to drag the bathtub up and over the mountain till they got back into the river in Spritzenland. Florrie and Linny sailed the boat along the river all the way to the capital city, Spritz. Well, Linny, we are here. A crowd of Spritzen gathered around as Florrie and Linny dragged the boat to the centre of the city. Florrie then said to the crowd, You must never throw your rubbish away again, or we will just bring it back. The crowd now looked more menacing, but Florrie kept talking. I am going to show you what to do with it. You're going to plant and recycle. Someone from the crowd shouted, Go home, you meddlesome fairies! You are on our land, and we do what we like. Florrie responded, I am going to put a magic barrier around the bathtub, so you will not be able to move it. My friend Linnea and I are going to get some plants, and we will return to demonstrate how you can live your lives in beauty. And with a swish of a wand, Florrie had put a barrier around the bathtub with her new magic, and Florrie and Linny flew off. Spritzens from the crowd tried to get near the bathtub to move it, but hit an invisible glass wall that they were unable to get through. They kept trying, but everything failed. The elders of Spritzenland were now present and waited for the two fairies to return. Florrie and Linny returned with plants and a small tree. The elders said angrily, You must leave our land now, or there will be serious trouble between our two kingdoms. Florrie stood her ground and said, I am Mother Nature's eco-fairy, and her power is within me. There will be peace between our two kingdoms, but first I must show you how you can live a better life. Florrie and Linny quickly planted the small flowers and a tree into the bathtub. I will now use Mother Nature's magic to speed up the growing process, said Florrie, and with a swish of her wand, the plants began to grow before the astonished onlookers that gasped at what they saw. Within a moment, the magic had produced a beautiful display in the city square. This growth has been speeded up by my magic. It will take longer when you do it, but you must change your ways before it's too late. Lenny looked at Florrie and said, I am not sure they are convinced yet. They still look angry. We are not impressed by your magic. It is easier and cheaper to throw away rubbish than recycle. And too late for what? Said an elder. Florrie looked at the elder and said, You will destroy yourselves if you continue like this. See that pile of scrap metal? Watch and learn what is possible by recycling. Then, with a swish of her wand, the scrap metal came to life and organised itself into a beautiful tree made of metal, then moved itself to the square by the bathtub. The crowd began to go quiet, and the elders said, "This is too much work for us and of no benefit for our people." Florrie then waved her wand over a broken bricked walkway, and the bricks danced in the air to make a beautiful curved wall, and the soil began to turn itself over to create a large but not deep hole that filled with water. Fish then began to appear, and grass grew all around, and a tree sprung up from the ground. Florrie said, "All this is possible, but you have to want to do it." At that moment, a flock of birds landed on the tree in the new park, and on the tree in the bathtub they also landed, and bees started buzzing around the flowers, and a butterfly drank nectar from a flower. The crowd cheered and began to sing and dance in the park. They had never seen such beauty as this. All realised it was possible and felt at peace with life and shouted, "More! More!" The elders then realised what was being done and said, "Florrie, you are a true eco-fairy. You have shown us that nature can be harnessed to bring health, wealth and happiness to our people. We will immediately discuss with all the elders how we can change to providing more green space for our people. We are sorry for what we said earlier, and thank you for showing us what is possible." "You're welcome, but the rest is now up to you. Linny and I will now leave you to it, but I will come back occasionally to say hello and see how you're getting on, and provide advice if needed. Oh, and no more floating bathtubs, please," said Florrie. Lily looked at Florrie and said, "Well, Florrie, you have done it. Let's go home now and explain to our elders. Oh, and by the way, what's this Mother Nature and Eco-Fairy thing all about again?" "Sure thing, Linny," said Florrie, as they both flew home to tell the elders and all the fairies of their adventure.